it wasn't me. A year ago, I was in a cubicle, but it wasn't me. I think this is a much better version of the intro. But it wasn't me. Kind of like a Shaggy song, but it wasn't me. They ain't caught me in the cubicle, wasn't me. I was pushing them writings, wasn't me. Put my finger on the printer, wasn't me. Now I'm a rebel without a kitchen, wasn't me. All right, episode 8, featuring Matt from Fidel Gastro's Rebel with a Chill. Rebel without a chill? I get this wrong every week. Rebel and chill without a kitchen. Rebel and chill without a kitchen. That's the new hashtag. Episode 8, we are nearing the conclusion of season 1. Cliffhanger of last episode is a distant memory, but now Matt will tackle the Royal Ontario Museum, Shazza, otherwise known as the ROM. You know, they called me up one day, they're like, hey Matt, we want to have a party with a bunch of dinosaurs. Would you like to be involved? And I was like, cool, what can I do? They're like, just sell sandwiches. And I was like, all right. And that was pretty much how it started. And the rest is, as they say in the museum business, history. Meh. All right, shall we hit play? The footlongo, I'll never forget that thing. The dinosaur is actually called a footlongo. So they wanted me to make a footlong sandwich. I was like, I'm gonna lose so much money every time I sell a footlong. She's like, why? I'm like, well, because I would have to sell it for $18. And no one's gonna buy a sandwich for $18. That's the thing, they do sleepovers at the museum. I think that's where they took that idea one night at the museum. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe one night at the museum, the movie came first, and then they were like, hey, we actually have a museum. Maybe we should let some people sleep over.
It's adult sleepover, but no sleeping. All party. Friday Night Live at the ROM. This is gonna be around like 2.
I was always so worried because it's like, there was a lot of rules what you could and could not do on the actual floor of the museum because they didn't want to ruin like the artifacts or the art. And true story, no one knows this, so I'm just gonna let you all in on a little secret, and if people at the ROM are watching, it is what it is, but I almost caused a fire one time. A serious one too, actually. So you weren't allowed to actually cook out there. You had to have everything already ready to go. So, you know, we know how to do this. We have hot boxes that transport meat hot. We have chafing trays that keep things going. We had little flat top grills to grill off buns. This stuff is all acceptable. So the chafing trays, to keep them hot, there's a fuel that goes underneath. And sometimes it's just a wick. Those are the safer ones. Sometimes it's like this blue gel. I guess I was trying to put it out at the end of the night. And so I went to flip it upside down to like suffocate it. But I remember that's what you do with the wick one. The ones that are the blue flame, you're supposed to just put the lids back on top and get rid of the oxygen and kill the fire. I flipped the blue liquid ones, and doesn't like a ball of fire just fall right out of the can onto the table that had a linen, like a microplastic linen tablecloth, and it just, poof. So I'm literally, I'm like trying to, I had like bottles of water, I'm trying to like smother it. It wouldn't go out because it would just spread the fire because the blue gel was there. So I just took the whole thing, threw it on the ground and stomped on it, and like 2 people saw it out of thousands. Phew!
Great location, right in front of the fresco.
Yeah, that's where the fire almost was, in front of the fresco. Sorry, fresco. See? There's that joke. I didn't even know that was in this episode. We're making history. Get it? So I used to work here. True story. McEwen's is owned by celebrity chef Mark McEwen here in Toronto. He opened this grocery store up, I want to say just under a decade ago. At the time I was unemployed, but I knew I needed a job and I had a background in butchery, so I went in there, you know, thinking it'd just be a in and out gig. I ended up being there for just under a year. We're gonna meet Frank Galoro. He's, I've known him since I was 14. It's true, he looked much better when I worked there. So Frank Galoro, there he is, this beautiful specimen. I've known Frank since I was 14. I used to just sweep the floors at the old butcher shop that I worked at. And every time he'd come to do a delivery, he'd see me sweeping. He goes, they just pay you to sweep? And ever since then, we've been good buddies. And it's one of those love-hate relationships. Like, he hates me whenever he sees me, but I feel like if anything were to happen to me, he'd be really sad. Maybe I'll give him a call today, see how he's doing. He always tries to push Wagyu like it's drugs. Want some Wagyu? Hey bro, want some Wagyu? Why not Wagyu? Call him? Oh my God. We should totally call Frank Galoro. He won't even answer. He's never answered. He always calls me back a week later. If he picks up, I will be shocked. You've reached the voicemail of Frank.
To an automatic voice messaging system.
Frank.
What if this was an emergency? You'd be missing out. I miss you, I love you, I hope you're well. Bye. And that's how we talk to each other. Good old Frank Galoro. Okay, back to the episode. He's such an asshole. I will not tolerate, if you can't read the sign, he goes, he made and laminated it. I will not tolerate crap from smart-ass food truck vendors. That was implied for me. Like, ooh, I don't miss that sweater. Oh, Frank called back. And he left a voicemail. Okay, we gotta hear this.
Bro, you're just as bad as me. Don't answer your phone. Hope you're doing well. I'll call you later. You tell me. I don't talk to you and your wife. Have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I am taking the boys out for dinner. And I know you're not part of McEwen's anymore. You're part of the Butcher's Son, but I'll call you if you want to come. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
Wow! That was the nicest message he's ever left me. Oh my God, in the almost 20 years I've known him, that was literally the nicest he's ever been to me. Wow. I am blown away right now. Thank you, Frank, that meant a lot. It's perfect timing right now because I'm actually doing a charity boxing match with my good friend Candace. Put your hand in there, Candace. That's a left hook. So we're training for a charity boxing match in March. So I've gone back to my coach and he's making a special guest appearance in this episode. A Rebel Without a Kitchen, featuring Nelson Sobral. This is a great idea for a date night though, just kickbox the shit out of each other. She picked it up, look how big those gloves on her, Kai. They're bigger than her head. She put everything into that kick, and I still hear about it 7 years later. Okay, episode 8. Is history. Get it? What's episode 9? Oh, I win an award. That's a good one. Well, that was fun. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time on Rebel Without a Chill. No, Rebel and Chill Without a Kitchen. No, Rebel. A rebel chilling in a kitchen somewhere in a galaxy far, far away. Hopefully you like and subscribe and watch more of Rebels Without Kitchens on Netflix, on YouTube. Bye.